Hello, good morning. My name is Jose Ruizalba Robledo. I am professor of marketing at the University of Westminster. And today is the 7th of December, 2023. We are here online with Koen van Dijck. He is currently in Netherlands. He came to our university a couple of weeks ago for a guest speaker session with our students on Consumer Insights module. And some of them, they wanted to know more. That's why we have today Paolo Bellotti, Amanda Yermakovica, and Milagros Rodriguez. All of them are students of our module, and they wanted to ask you some questions. So maybe Paolo, would you like to start?
Yeah, sure. So I had two questions, and the first one is, what are the best and most creative ways to promote a loyalty program? And if you have any creative example from your experience.
Okay. Good morning to me as well, and happy to be back. I'm really pleased that this interview helps you also in an assignment for a local retailer, food retailer. Creative ways of doing loyalty marketing. In my lecture, I gave several examples, but if you're focusing on your assignment, I know your assigner, your local retailer uses long-term loyalty. And I'm a big fan of trying to tap into that using short-term loyalty initiatives. Every loyalty initiative, designing can be very creative, but it's always, the starting point should be, what do I want to achieve with it? So if they want to attract new shoppers, or if they want to burn their electronic points in a certain way, that will help, that has a different angle. Assuming that you want to have that people use the collected points for the catalog or for products in a smarter, more creative way, is put some time pressure on that campaign so that shoppers know that if I want to seize this beautiful opportunity, I have to hurry. Because if there's no time pressure, you will see that shoppers will not change their shopping behavior. And that's actually a very important way. Creative ways to then activate it is always best to co-create it together with the retailer, because they have their local means, and whether it's a magazine or a platform, it has to create, you have to create at least 7 touch points in the shopper's journey before, let's say, the coin clicks, we say in the Netherlands, before you really notice that message and act upon it. So how can you do that? Have a brainstorm session with the retailer, and then you just brainstorm, not only with marketeers, everyone is a shopper. So if you have creative this, I would like to see it on my cell phone. I would like to see it when I wait for a bus. Why don't you show it me in the magazine, in the leaflet, when I'm in the store? So all the touch points of a shopper journey, analyze it, and then tap into with the most creative ways you can think of. Is that answering your question a little bit?
It does, thank you.
Great.
Hi, my name is Amanda. My next question is, what are some challenges in the supermarket industry, and if we can overcome them with the loyalty programs?
Yes. What are the challenges? There are several challenges in the food retail industry. Of course, the whole online exercise requires a lot of attention, and it's, for now, not a financially healthy part of their business. Vast majority, especially in the UK also, the vast majority still happens offline. So people need to tap into, people really want to still visit supermarkets. The food retail industry, you have to understand, is the biggest industry by far, working with the lowest margins of them all. That makes them to be on top of every little detail. There's a famous retail saying, retail is detail, the devil is in the detail. Now, the challenge is not only on the online, but the challenge is also to keep connecting to your shoppers. And your shoppers change. They consider sustainability an important element. They consider price an important element. They consider throwing away food an important element. So you have to understand, where are my shoppers, and then make sure you move along with them. And that sounds very easy, but it's not, because you have the price wars, you have the where do I put the products, how do I connect to them. You younger people, you probably want to do a lot on the smartphone, where others still use a paper shopping list. And so there's so many things that they need to take into consideration with those small margins. It's a tough industry, but my advice would always be follow the shoppers, because you have to create some sort of engagement, excitement to retain their loyalty. So try to surprise them. Actually, every visit, I call it, what is your selfie moment? So like, what does shoppers make, take a picture? And it could be a beautiful presentation of cheese, very friendly staff member, or, a massive display of some product. Try to find an element that surprises people because they talk about it.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, I'm Mila, and my question is, how can retailers create a balance between exciting shoppers with immediate rewards, while also creating loyalty that extends beyond instant gratification?
Okay, you use two terms in the sense. So we talked about two ways of doing short-term loyalty campaigns. One is to attract new shoppers. That is with instant gratification, usually aimed at kids. One of the examples I showed was, for example, the Sainsbury Disney cards that will, no matter how tough you as a mom are, when schoolyards receives Disney cards, the kids brings it home and mom, I want these as well. Yeah, but I shop at Tesco. Well, I think she will last for 3 days, and then at least grandfather has already been mobilized to also shop at Sainsbury's to get those Disney cards. So instant gratification helps. Little bit longer, so like the stamp-based campaigns, they are there to, let's say, reward shoppers that are already loyal to you and trying to have them focus a little bit more of their food expenditures in your store. Now, those insights, that balance, you have to weigh them out. So what is again, we start with what is the challenge you want to solve for a food retailer? Hey, is it, I have a beautiful store, new store format, but too few people visit? Then come up with a suggestion that people will come to your store. Is it, I want the increase of basket size? Then you could do a stamp-based campaign. You use your consumer insights for that, your shopper insights, because okay, we'll get to that.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And my second and last question is, so let's take like food retailer like Coop, for instance, as an example. They're a cooperative, so sometimes they do help the community and they've got benefits for the community. What happens for the consumer, for the final consumer, when the strategy behind the Co-op loyalty program is more towards helping supporting the community more than rewarding the individuals themselves?
I love the question, because community is one of the challenges we talked about earlier, Amanda, that's also, you are the cornerstone of each society. That's where it happens in the supermarket. So I want to ask the question back to you, Paolo. What would you think if you would be able to contribute to the community with your behavior in the supermarket? Would you feel good, or would you feel negative? Why am I not collecting for something for me?
I don't know. I feel like it's a good strategy. It could be a good idea, but at the same time, I feel like individuals, when they're by themselves and they're not watched by the community, they could be very selfish. Okay. So I feel like that selfishness is going to be there, and people are just going to not care about probably the loyalty program and be like, there's no real direct advantage to myself, so I'm just going to forget about it. I'm going to go shop somewhere else.
If that is your situation with all the shoppers, you can also combine it. But my first response is community element is very important. Many shoppers would feel happy to contribute to either a food carrying association nearby or something for the less fortunate people. But now what if you would combine these two things, saying, okay, I'm going to collect to redeem a certain reward, but for every reward redeemed, Co-op will contribute to the local whatever. And you asked the question on creative, right? If you want to do this smartly, stores could even have, say, on a store level, you could have a small competition prior to the campaign saying, which 3 local initiatives do you want me to support? Okay. Then you get a lot of noise because everyone wants the local fire department or the local hockey club or whatever. And then you have your shoppers choose your 3 local initiatives. And then every time you hit a certain spend level, money spent on your ticket and or redeem a reward, you get, let's say, a coin that you can then throw into one of the buckets. And by the end of the campaign, you know, the store can 3 times reach out to the local newspaper saying, hey, we're handing out £212.43 to this community. So then it becomes completely integrated, and I'm pretty sure people will feel very happy to have contributed to that part. And you will get a lot of noise around that campaign because everybody wants to be in the top 3. So you're mobilizing your network as well at the same time.
That's interesting. Thank you.
If they do it, let me know, right? Because I'm really happy to do that.
That's your idea anyway. You need to take the credits.
No, don't worry.
I've got my second question ready. So what is some advice for retailers to engage with their customers, and how can we really make a connection with customers when they enter the store?
Okay. I'm very keen on, so they need to connect to their shoppers, but you are a different shopper than I am. So that's another challenge for food retailers. I talked about this hyper personalization. Your shopper journey is different than mine, but still, I think food retailers, most of them haven't exploited yet sufficiently the vast amount of consumer insight data that they have based on the card used shoppers, because especially in the UK market, lots of happens with a card, and there's so much more you can get out of it, but it requires resources. So it's always a difficult balance how to do so. But so shopper insights for a chain like Tesco are extremely important to be. So the ideal situation would be knowing that you have a cat at home. It would be sending you a leaflet or something on your smartphone saying cat food is on offer. To that extent, it should happen. And I don't have cats, so don't send me that. That's a waste of money, paper, efficiency, right? So that's what you all can do. Does it really happen? More and more, because there are examples in the world that you need to collect 5 times, or you need to come back in 5 times, or I need to come in twice and already get the same reward. It's a personalized loyalty concept that is required nowadays.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So finally, can you give us an example like the one you said about Sainsbury's and Disney's for the loyalty cards?
An example of how that worked, or what the goal was, or
yeah, like for long-term and short-term, you know.
yeah, okay. So the interesting thing was with Sainsbury's, you have such a strong license as Disney. By itself, it already attracts a lot of shoppers' attention. And what you do with these kinds of campaigns, you instantly give something. When the shopper reaches a certain spend level, they get these cards, and these cards have these famous characters like Frozen, and you know them better than I do. But a kid that receives that in the store immediately opens it up and it goes like, oh, it's Frozen, right? And that excitement on the shop floor will make them come back. And if you don't have kids in that age that would go nuts for these kind of campaigns, there is always a father, or at least, or an uncle, or your grandmother. They would love to get them and then give it to someone, could be a random kid, because seeing that smile on the face of a kid makes it all worth, right? So rumor around the brand, a positive rumor around the brand, helps, in this case, Sainsbury, to attract new shoppers to their stores, to show them, hey, actually, this is a quite good alternative compared to where they regularly shop. And that was their main goal, getting new shoppers to the stores, using a license as Disney makes it super strong. And the execution that they did was actually very nice.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very interesting questions and very, very good answers. So if I'm allowed, I would like to make also a question to you.
Of course.
Yes, because 2 weeks ago, we had the guest speaker session with you, with all the students, and you make them an open question. You told them, what is the main goal of a loyalty program? And they gave very good answer, is collecting information from them, etc. But you said, if I'm not wrong, that under your view is changing consumer behavior, is what you said. No,
I said changing shopper behavior.
Sorry, shopper. Yeah.
There's a difference between because the one who shops Coca-Cola not necessarily drinks consumes Coca-Cola.
Okay.
But I want to find out everything about this person buying it in my store.
Changing. So my question is, can you explain a bit more about this? How with the loyalty program you can change or try to nudge them? And the other question is, because we have been talking during decades about the customer experience, but recently in many scholars, academics, also practitioners are starting to gain interest about customer experience management. So how can you manage, or can we manage customer experience through these loyalty programs?
Okay, last question is a tough one. The first one is an easy one. So loyalty marketing, it changes shopper behaviors. Let's say I will keep it easy. The one with the Disney cards I just explained, you switch stores. That's a complete difference. With the stamp-based campaigns, you are having loyal shoppers focus their purchases more on that same retailer because I want to get to the redeem another reward. They will not spend more because I can control their budget, but they will potentially decide, okay, my Christmas shoppings, I better do it in that store because then I will get more stamps and this way I can redeem. So you're making them focus their purchases more. You don't know that as a shopper what your average ticket is, potentially, but these kind of campaigns are designed to make you spend a little bit more than you used to do. And if the majority of shoppers, the small amount of shoppers that are representing the vast majority of your turnover, make that little change, you as a retailer, you will become very happy. Okay. The last thing that I wanted to mention on how can we change shopper behavior, there is in some loyalty campaigns, what you can do is ask your brand suppliers, FMCG/CPG partners, to participate in a trade promotion with them. So what then happens is, for example, this week buying this Lay's chips, normally it would have a 30% price discount. Now it has 20% discount, but you get an additional stamp. You will see that shoppers go into the aisles of the snacks, have chips on their shopping list, and they will switch brands for this time because, hey, it's on offer and I get a stamp. It gives a lot of benefits for the FMCG brands because they don't need to be that price aggressive to get their weekly shift turnover. So those are 3 examples of how you can change shopper behavior using loyalty campaigns. Okay, and the other one was customer expectation management, right?
Customer experience management.
Okay. So in this whole world of loyalty marketing, there's one super nasty word, and that is out of stock. Right? It's very tricky, very difficult to find out how many red wine glasses a shopper will take or how many bread knives in the range. But the moment that you have on the store a certain item not available, the store gets mad. They all call the local regional managers, that reaches headquarters, and then the agency who is providing that service is definitely in troubled waters. That's what you want to avoid. Now, 70% of the awareness of a campaign happens through in-store communication and through store staff. So an important element is to make sure you train the store staff with the right questions and toolings so that they know that they can give the experience fitting to that campaign. It requires an investment from all of us because the support of executing such a campaign cannot be made only in HQ level. You have to reach the shop floor. That's where, you know, your consumer experience. If I come into a new store, I hope some of the store members, staff members, notice that I'm new and salute me, or maybe they salute me every day. So, hey, welcome to see you back, Jose Luis. All of that happens in the shop floor.
And thank you so much, Koen, for your time today, for sharing your experience, your vast experience. And also thanks to Paolo, Amanda, and Mila for being here today. And yes, I think we can keep in touch. There will be more opportunities to collaborate in the future. Thanks you so much.
You're welcome. If I can help out the students with any of your questions later relating to your assignment for co-op, I assume, then you have my contact details. Happy to help out.
Okay.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you very much. It was very insightful. Bye.
Thank you
Have a
very
good day.